Let's have a chat about 1980. This was another one of these years that for me personally, huge. Now, think about 1980. The Rubik's Cube came out. That little box that made a lot of people feel real stupid unless you could figure it out. Then you felt really smart. But most of the public just felt really stupid about the whole thing and spent a lot of hours or days, weeks, months trying to figure the damn thing out. So that was kind of a big deal that went on that year. What else? Oh, we learned Luke Skywalker has a father. Luke, I am your father. That was big. And the Blues Brothers. It was the beginning of the Blues Brothers. Yeah, huge year, I guess. And Ronald Reagan came around, and the whole conservative movement started. You know, the moral majority, everything like that. And of course, they didn't like a lot of the lyrics of the music that was coming out. So that's 1980. But I want to show you 10 albums, and this time only 10. These are the best of 1980. At least it's the albums that I have, you know. There might be some others, but what I got in my collection that I think were the very best of 1980. And let's just begin. And Vinyl Richie, I've been doing this, and a couple others have been doing this also, which has been nice. But me and Vinyl Richie, we agreed on some of these this time. So it was a little closer list, which was kind of amazing. But first, British Steel, number 10. British Steel. This has one of my theme songs on here. One of those driving songs. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. Man, I sing that constantly when I'm driving because I pretty much just break the law whenever I'm driving. What a great... This was Judas Priest figuring out, how do we become arena rock? How can we pack them in? How can we make music that's going to attract the masses? They had been around, but now they went leather, baby. Not only leather, but they made songs that had melody, that were extremely catchy, and that could rock an arena. You had that one and Living After Midnight. Two of the absolute classic. I'm not a huge Judas Priest fan. I need only 2 albums from them. British Steel and Screaming for Vengeance. That's my other big driving song that I really, really like. So, number 9. Coming in at number 9. Psychedelic Furs. One of those great debut albums from 1980. And 1980 had some amazing debut albums, but this was one of them. It just begins with India and then goes into Sister Europe. Just good song after good songs on here. They channeled David Bowie. When you listen to this and you think of the late 70s David Bowie, it's all over this. You can feel it, you can hear it, and it sounds great. In fact, they took it up a notch and made it even better. They came out, they had a string of just great albums after this, but this started it all. The Psychedelic Furs first album. Number 8, another debut. This had so many great debuts. The Feelies. And it's Crazy Rhythms. What another just wonderful song. Look at that. When you look at this, you just see this kind of this faded blue background, horn-rimmed glasses. You just think new age music, a bunch of 4 nerdy guys out here playing. Then you listen to this thing. It is so exciting. So much real great music is on here. Of course, they are fa, se, la, fa, 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 se, la, le, se, la, whatever, however it goes. But all of this is good. Now, dig into it. Listen to that drumming. The drumming has a Mo Tucker type feel. The vocalists has a Lou Reed type feel to his voice. It's just, they were fans of the Velvet Underground, and you can hear it in the stuff. But this is just an outstanding debut. Again, new wave taking over, coming up with different ways, and really, this is college rock really starting and taking hold. Super debut by the Feelies at number 8. Number 7, this was not a debut. It was well, you know what? It was a debut. It was a debut album for a new lead singer, AC/DC, Back in Black. Let's go back to my little brother. My little brother bought this, and I didn't. And so we're back to what my little brother bought that I didn't buy. This, Bon Scott was dead, so in comes the new vocalist. And I think a lot of this, though, really has to do with Jeff Lang. Really coming in and saying, let's make this thing sound really, really good. And Brian Johnson, he had just, what a, think about a gap that a person has to fill. And he really had to, that was a huge hole, but he did it. And he did it even better. And of course, it says Back in Black, Hell's Bells. Think about Hell's Bells. Think about third down in football games. American football, please. The tolling of the bell. That's Hell's Bells, baby. Shoot the thrills on here. Rock and roll ain't noise pollution. You shook me all night long. This is arena rock. This is still fresh, exciting to this day, adrenaline pumping, rock and roll. Great, the best album by AC/DC. The best album by AC/DC. Every single song is great. Not a throwaway on here. Just outstanding stuff. Outstanding. That's number 7. Number 6. Not a debut album again, and my little brother had nothing to do with it. U2's War. Lily White came in. Steve Lillywhite came in to produce U2. And he added something to them. He gave them the arena rock sound. U2 really went a lot more political on here, and really looking at Ireland. You have Sunday Bloody Sunday. You have Seconds. There's 40s on here. New Year's Day. Just really, they're coming out hard on this, and it's hard rocking. But then you have the beautiful love song, Two Hearts Beat as One, but it's done with such passion. This album is filled with passion. There's angst, there's anger, there's passion for what they're doing. And it helped them explode. I remember when you saw the first video on MTV, and it was Sunday Bloody Sunday, and they're marching out there in the snow, and they're drumming. Mullins is on his drum. Just incredible video, but it showed this is a serious group, and this is their first really serious album. And just look at the cover itself. I was when this came out, this was one of those exciting albums. U2, just War, says it all. Excellent. Number 5 through 1. This could go in any order because it's just so damn good, so good. But right now I have number 5 and Grace Jones, Warm Leatherette. She got with on here with Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare. And they suddenly took her music and put it in a whole different direction. And it became this dance, but it was definitely new wave coming out, but with a dance beat. And, with her vocal, she doesn't have a big vocal range, but it was done so beautiful. And she was just, Warm Leatherette, Private Life is on here. Love is a Drug. Breakdown from Tom Petty. It's just, she took these songs and made them her own. And it's just fantastic. Mark from Mad for Vinyl sent me this. He found it. And this was the last Grace Jones that I really needed to have. And he was gracious enough to send this to me in such a beautiful copy of such an iconic album. Incredible songs. Not much of an inner sleeve there, just completely black. But number 5 from Grace Jones, Warm Leatherette. Just, man, packed with great songs. Number 4, Dead Kennedys. There's actually, this is a UK cherry red label and the original insert. There's my original that I had. Here we have, look at that, you have the nice inserts. We have the heads, so this is more of an original one. Eventually they took the heads off. And you can't, you don't want to touch the vinyl. Their debut, another debut album that just blew me away. And I didn't hear this until 82, 83. Jeff Bigelow, my one friend I've mentioned before, who introduced me to punk. But the song, well, California Uber Alice, it just makes you want to jump up and down. Holiday in Cambodia is one of my all-time favorite punk songs. One of my all-time favorite songs. That just is great. He does their own thing of Viva Las Vegas, but yeah, Chemical Warfare, Let's Lynch the Man, the Landlord, Forward to Death, Kill the Poor. This is very, very left wing. Now, so you think Ronald Reagan now is being elected as president. So America is going ultra conservative. And out comes the Dead Kennedys, which is way on the other side of the left. Such an important debut album from a great band. Just outstanding. That is number 4. Number 3. X, Los Angeles. This is considered a punk album, but is it punk? Because this group is so talented. John Doe, Billy Zoom, Serena, they are so talented, and they did so many types of genres. And even on here, you hear the cowpunk happening. There is punk in here, but there is so much more, and the songwriting is absolutely incredible. Better than most any punk band could do. It is powerful stuff. You know, Johnny Hit and Run Pauline is based about rape tape. They're they're throwing this stuff at you. You have Los Angeles, you have, the world is a mess. Your phone's off the hook, but you're not. That's great. An incredibly powerful debut album, another debut album from this year that just turned, the new age punk world upside down. Great stuff. Number 2, best album ever from this band. There's the originals. Actually, I have 2 different ones. I have an original. I had a special that came out, but Talking Heads, Remain in Light. This has, through time, become my favorite Talking Heads album. When it originally came out, I didn't like it because I'd just gotten used to Fear of Music. That was so different from, more songs about buildings and food. Then this comes out and I go, what the heck are you doing? And the grooves. This is about grooves. This is where they finally took these African grooves that were being experimented with in Fear of Music, and they put it all together. And they just made, let's call it a crackerjack album, huh? That's kind of what it is. It's just perfect. Just perfect. The Great Curve, Cross-Eyed and Painless, Born in Punches, Houses in Motion. I mean, it is so good. Once in a Lifetime. My God, that is just one of the all-time best songs. And you know what? It kind of tanked when it came out as a single, but then came the movie, Stop Making Sense, and it brought Once in a Lifetime back, and people began to really, really like it. And of course, they jumped into various movies. But this, my number 2 album, to me, the best album from the Talking Heads, Remain in Light. So it brings us to our number 1. And it's a debut. They put out an album beforehand. It was more of their 45s. It was a smaller album. This was their first full-length album. And it ranks probably in my top 3 albums of all time, generally between 2, probably number 3. I'll give it a number 3. The Cramps, The Songs the Lord Taught Us. Jeff Bigelow, who introduced me to Dead Kennedys, introduced me to X, introduced me to this. This had the biggest impact on me, this and the Sex Pistols, that he introduced me to. To this day, it's still one of my most played albums, and I never tire of it. Just the fact that it starts off with Drunk Train and goes into Garbage Man, Rock on the Moon, I Was a Teenage Werewolf, Sunglasses After Dark, Strychnine, Mad Daddy, just so good. Yeah, it's everything that you could ever want on an album. Amazing stuff on here. And you know what? The one that just the track list is a little different on here. It doesn't show it on there, which is kind of weird. My all-time favorite Cramps song, TV Set's on here, because I want to cut your head off and put it in my TV set and use your eyeballs for knobs on my TV set. Oh man, that's dark, really dark, but so good. Crazy group, just crazy, great music. Cramps, one of my all-time favorite groups. So there we go, 1980, power-packed albums. One's adrenaline pumping, makes you jumping, happy, just great stuff. What a wonderful year for music. It made you feel good to be alive. So that's 1980. Guess time to move on to 1981. Please let me know what your favorites are. You know, obviously there's some genres I don't have in there. Let me know. You know, I probably don't even have them, but more than happy to hear. Thanks everyone. Have a great one. Bye.